grooming. I was groomed when I was 11 years old, and I am disgusted with all of you here. I'm disgusted with all of you because it was not an immigrant, it was multiple
It was multiple middle-aged white men. That's what she was saying there at the end. They should have allowed her to finish. They shouldn't have told her to F off and escorted her out. Even though the protest had nothing to do with middle-aged white men, even though the protest was about Muslim grooming gangs, they should have allowed her to finish and not thrown her out. Why? Because she claimed to be a victim. And I say claim because I don't know whether it's true or not. What I do know is that every person who claims to have been abused by whoever, Muslim grooming gangs or non-Muslim grooming gangs, they deserve to be heard. They deserve respect and justice. And she didn't get that. They probably thought she was a troll. Even if that was the case, even if she was trolling, they should have handled it differently. They should have reminded her of how serious this crime is and that trolling it isn't funny and doesn't help the victims. They should have educated her. All I know is that they handled that poorly. Personally, I would have allowed her to finish. After she finished, I would have been sympathetic to what she had been through and condemned those responsible. I would have reminded the crowd that even though the protest is about Muslim grooming gangs, we must remember that there are also English grooming gangs that need to be condemned publicly and brought to justice. Let's be clear, guys. Grooming gangs are not only just found in Muslim communities. And after, I would have educated her. Yes, I would have educated her. I would have explained the difference between Muslim grooming gangs and non-Muslim British grooming gangs. Both are evil. Both types deserve minimum life in prison with no chance of coming out or worse. I would have told her that the difference between Muslim grooming gangs and non-Muslim British grooming gangs is that Muslim grooming gangs are ordered, or should I say commanded by Islam, meaning the Quran and the Hadith, to grape non-Muslim women. Are you shocked? Are you shocked by what I just said? If what I said shocked you, then you haven't been reading the Quran and the Hadiths. That's way more shocking. But don't worry, this is what I'm here for. I'll break it down for you. Before I give you the evidence, meaning the verses in the Quran and the Hadiths, did you know that the victims of the Muslim grooming gang scandal testified that the grapes were religiously motivated? Did you know that? Did you know that convicted Pakistani Muslim grooming gang men protested in court saying that it was their religious right to grape children? Did you know that?
I said and made very clear, if the majority of country is white, then it's natural to see the majority of representation in any crime to be by white people, because we're living in a majority white country. What is concerning is if pockets of our country, communities like ours, Daniel, yours and mine, are disproportionately involved in any one type of crime. That disproportionate number raises questions about our attitudes, our meaning British Pakistani men, our attitudes towards the rest of society, and whether we have a Muslim supremacist attitude. One of the defendants in this case, Daniel, I'm sorry you're not going to like hearing this stuff, but the truth doesn't necessarily care about your feelings. One of the main defendants in trial argued that it's his religious right to have sex with underage girls, and that was his defense. Look it up, Daniel. It is unbelievable. And you and I know that that kind of argument gets bandied about. You and I know, and if you don't believe me again, look it up, that in Pakistan, you're in my country of origin, where our parents are from, when they tried to raise the age of sexual consent, it was shot down by the Ideological Council of Guarding Islamic Culture in Pakistan, shot down in Parliament and deemed blasphemous for trying to raise the age of consent. And I address you now here, oh woke left wing. You talk about believing the victim. Look it up. Go to your smartphone and Google Ella Hill. She writes a piece in The Independent in which she describes the religious extremist terminology her abusers were using as they were sexually exploiting her as a child, in which she talks of how they called her an infidel, and how they abused her race and her lack of Islamic faith, and justified treating her in this way because they viewed her as less than, because they believed themselves to be Muslim supremacists. Don't tell me that their Muslim identity had nothing to do with this. I have lived and breathed this community all of my life. I can guarantee you that it's not the cause, but a factor in the way in which these girls was treated was the culture of these men, and as part of that culture is their religious attitude towards non-Muslims. And that is the reason that you see almost exclusively that they are men like me, Pakistani, British, Muslim. Most of them, all of them Muslims, almost all Pakistani Muslims. And the victims, almost all underaged white girls.
This is Ella Hill, guys, a Rotherham grooming gang survivor. And here's what she told Independent News. Brace yourself, this is horrific. As a teenager, I was taken to various houses and flats above takeaways in the north of England to be beaten, tortured, and raped over 100 times. I was called a white slag and white cunt as they beat me. Pay attention to what she says next. They made it clear that because I was a non-Muslim and not a virgin, and because I didn't dress modestly, that they believed I deserved to be punished. They said I had to obey or be beaten. Like I said, Islam allows Muslim men to grape and enslave non-Muslim women. And like I said, the reason why Muslim grooming gangs are unique from all other grooming gangs is that Muslims believe that what they are doing is right. They believe that they are pleasing their God Allah, whilst the non-Muslim engaging in this evil crime knows that what they are doing is wrong. One has a guilty conscience, whereas Muslims don't. That's the difference between a Muslim grooming gang and a non-Muslim grooming gang. Does it make the crime less evil? No, of course not. Now let's be honest here, guys. She probably didn't know nothing that I've just explained, and I don't think the guys protesting knew it either. Most English people are ignorant when it comes to Christianity, let alone Islam. Now let me show you some of the verses in the Quran that allows Muslims to grape non-Muslim women. Al-Hazab 33:50. O Prophet, we have made lawful for you your wives to whom you have paid their full dowries, as well as those bond women in your possession whom Allah has given you as booty. This verse clearly shows that Muslims believe that having slaves was a God-given right. Remember, Muslims believe that the Quran is the literal word of God. So sex slaves are allowed in Islam. And who were these slaves? Were they Muslim women? No. In Islam, a Muslim woman cannot be a slave, let alone a sex slave. These women were non-Muslim. They were polytheists, Christians, and Jews. Let's go to another verse. An-Nisa 4:24. Also forbidden are married women, except female captives in your possession. This is Allah's commandment to you. Let's go to another verse. Surah Al-Mu'minun. Successful indeed are the believers, those who humble themselves in prayer, those who avoid idle talk, those who pay alms tax, those who guard their chastity, except with their wives or those bond women in their possession, for then they are free from blame. And who are these slaves? Let's see if you remember the answer. Muslim women? No, Muslim women are not allowed to be slaves. These women were non-Muslim. They were polytheists, Christians, or Jews. Do you think any of these women consented to have sex with Muhammad's soldiers when they were captured? Or were they raped? Come on. We all know the answer. Now, do you know who Muslims view as slaves today? The same people they viewed as slaves in the time of Muhammad. Non-Muslims, who they call polytheists, Christians, and Jews. This is why they raped them. And the reason why is because of the Quran. According to them, the word of God tells them to do it. And this is why Muslims have grooming gangs. It's their religion. It's Islam that tells them that it's okay to grape and enslave them. Did this girl know this? I doubt it very much. Did the men in the video know this? I also doubt it very much. Had they had this knowledge, I am sure they would have handled that situation differently. So what's the solution? First and foremost, shame on you for how you handled that woman. Second, in this case, I would say be more knowledgeable about the ideology you are criticizing, aka Islam. Third, men who groom young girls to rape them and abuse them, they deserve to be locked up for life or worse, regardless if they are Muslims or non-Muslims. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the reaction. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace.